Hey everyone, my guest today is Alan, aka the Paraclete. America and the world are screaming for a transformation of consciousness, but what exactly do we need to change? And how do we achieve this transformation? The Paraclete's book, The Modern Citizen, explores the spiritual transformation of the past and what actions need to be taken to make humanity a more powerful, prosperous, united, and conscious species. Hey everyone, I want to welcome Alan, aka the Paraclete, to the show today. So, Alan, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your main reason for being here today. And
Okay. Well, I thank you for having me, first of
of
all.
course.
And I've always been very deep spiritual individual, not so much religious, but I do follow Christianity.
Mhm.
But I've always searched for deeper meanings in the things that I read, and like my interpretation of the Bible as I see the world and how it relates to the world nowadays, not back,
Mhm.
2,000 years from now. And you had asked me before about the name, the Paraclete, where
Yeah.
does it come from? And a lot of people have asked me that same question. And the Paraclete in the Bible is uh, pretty much the Holy Spirit. It's a helper for humanity, an advocate for God and Jesus. And a lot of people also believe the Holy Spirit is a spirit of wisdom.
Okay.
So that's what I try to shoot for, and I think it is it has worked for me in the sense that I needed to find an identity
Yeah.
in religion, like who I am, and where I belong in this world. And when you pick a play, when you pick a character from the play,
Mhm.
it might be Jesus, it might be Moses, uh, you know, and and you stick to that. That's
Yeah.
when the wisdom comes along with it. Like if you look at Martin Luther King and Gandhi, their you know their lives is pretty much uh, the same life as Moses.
Mhm.
How they liberated their people through peace, and that's the aim of religion.
Yeah.
Not just Christianity, but Buddhism and Hinduism, and it helps you understand better your place in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really interesting way to look at it, almost like stepping into a role, you know, of yeah,
But
what flex.
not identifying yourself that you are actually, that person. You remain you keep your own identity,
Mhm.
but you follow that road
Yeah.
that you have chosen. Yeah.
Yeah, it kinda gives you purpose.
Yeah, and it gives you, the courage to follow that because you see the examples throughout history, and you need, that guidance
Mhm.
to help you through because sometimes life gets a little complicated and
Yeah.
we lose our way. And it's always good to come back and say, well, like a lot of people say, like, what would Jesus have done? What would Martin Luther King done? And we, it gets us back on track.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some changes that you believe America needs to make?
Okay. America is, as we all know right now, is
Mhm.
I think we're living the most critical point in our development.
Yeah.
And there's so much chaos, confusion, violence, corruption, and there's a lack of vision in this country. And what I think we need to do is get back to the roots of why the United States was created in the first place
Mhm.
and who created it. And if we go back, we'll see that the founding fathers, these were not just mere men, ordinary men or women or very educated people, they were deities,
Mhm.
pretty much. They believed themselves to be on this earth carrying out a divine plan. And they truly believed in that to the point where they were willing to put their lives at risk. It wasn't just because they wanted more freedom so they could make more money. You
Right.
understand? They knew
Mhm.
and they put it in the symbols of the United States. You know, when you see an eagle in the United States, it's our national bird.
Mhm.
They didn't consider it just a bird because it was pretty. The
Yeah.
eagle represents God coming down to the field of space and time to help humanity create a better world. And they understood that. And they put it on the symbol because of that.
Yeah.
You know, nine, which is the nine feathers on the
Uh-huh.
eagle, that represents the same thing in numerology. So they were in tune with messages, divine messages, and they tried to put it in the symbol so we could understand it.
Mhm.
Um, you know, the number 13 is a transcendental number, you know, 12 apostle, one transcendental Christ. So
Yeah.
something new was being born. And they used the number 13 many times. And it wasn't, you know, just a coincidence. There were 13 states, you know.
Right.
So they recognized the signs, which we fail to do nowadays.
Yeah.
And we need to interpret these signs in order to, um, because they're there to guide us into
Mhm.
what needs to be done. And you know, I think we have failed to be able to recognize these signs and understand that, you know, whatever happened to um, God's country,
Mhm.
you know, in God we trust. Whatever happened to, you know, like the forefathers put in the symbols, He has smiled upon our accomplishments. Well, who is He? You know,
Yeah.
obviously, it was a divine being, some force in the universe, whatever you want to call it, that loves us and wants to, you know, wants the best for us.
Mhm.
So we need to get back, first of all, to the principles, to the understanding that this nation doesn't exist without the help of the divine.
Yeah.
And not necessarily going back to old time religion like Christianity or, you know, how the churches interpret that for us,
Mhm.
uh, but for us to understand that there's principles, there's spiritual principles that we need to follow. You know, compassion and understanding and generosity, you know, empathy and love, you know. And once we get back to those basics, everything else will come along fairly easy for us. And the chaos and the confusion that we see nowadays and all the violence is due to our stubbornness to understand this.
Mhm.
And we keep neglecting it. And we keep thinking that we can handle ourselves and that we can accomplish anything we want, uh, you know, through human means. And it has proven that we haven't been able to. You know, we look to
Yeah.
the government to solve our problems. We look towards corporations. You know, we look
Yeah.
to the technology to help us solve the problems, and nothing seems to be working.
Right.
So we need to look at the problems of today from a different perspective, and the answers will come fairly easy.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a way to make government and institutions more socially conscious?
Well, the way it's always worked in the United States of America is that changes come from the masses, from us, from the
Mhm.
people. So if we expect the government to solve the problems, they're not going to be able to because they're not in touch with the people.
Okay.
Uh, they
Yeah.
don't they don't they don't go through what we go through every day.
Right.
And you know, corporations the same thing. They're only looking out for themselves and their shareholders, and and they don't seem to comprehend that, profits is not the reason why they are in business.
Mhm.
They are in business to serve the society, and that's why the society supports them. So we no
Yeah.
longer we got into a point where it was great having all the toys and seeing these celebrities and
Mhm.
business owners, riding around and multi-million dollar yachts and many Ferraris and many Rolls Royces and airplanes and everything else.
Yeah.
But those toys are hurting our society because there's people hurting out there. There's people going through a lot of problems that, these corporations should be helping them. And instead of showing off what you have accomplished or uh, the physical things that you've been able to attain, people are asking, what are you doing for society?
Mhm.
And one of there's a few examples of good examples of people starting to open up to this social consciousness. And I saw my kids showed me about a singer, very young girl that's coming up. I forget her name, but she went on concert, excuse me, and she donated $11 million
Oh,
for
wow.
environmental issues.
Yeah.
And that's a decent chunk of money.
Yeah.
And Dell Computer just, they say they're gonna donate $6.5 billion to this new program that Trump is putting together for,
Yeah.
creating like an IRA account for kids 10 years or younger.
Mhm.
And at $6.5 billion, that's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
my next computer is gonna be a Dell. I need to buy a computer soon. So they're gonna gain from that a lot more because
Oh, yeah.
the consumer confidence and that they're gonna gain a lot more customers because they're being kind, they're being, generous to the society. And I think we should see a lot more of that go on throughout the United States. And,
Yeah.
athletes, celebrities, and business owners. And we're gonna be a lot more grateful
Mhm.
for helping us shape and solve some of the problems that we have, including environmental and drug problems and, a lot of the issues that really affect us on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ways, and that's really the only way because if we could go on the way it is, it's the wealth gap is just getting larger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look if you look at communism, the way it's spread,
Mhm.
it's usually a discontent that surges within the masses. Like if you go to Venezuela, for example,
Uh-huh.
and I was there during the 80s. It was a very wealthy place, but in the outskirts of the city, the slums were horrible,
Oh,
horrible.
really?
And these people have so much money, and they never thought about helping.
I'm so sorry
Who is
about
that? Who
that.
is that?
That's oh, yeah, they were fighting, I guess.
Once we, like I said, once we look towards the goodness that's in people and humanity, which we
Mhm.
haven't really given it a chance. We've
Yeah.
concentrated more on greed and accumulating wealth and power and winning, and I think we should relax a little more and understand
Yeah.
that, like back in the 60s, they used to say, peace and love, peace and
Mhm.
love, peace and love. John Lennon said, give peace a chance.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the other day, we've never given it a chance. Let's give it a chance and see what happens. And that's the
Yeah.
kind of challenge that we're facing today. It's a leap of faith. It's a change in the way that we look at the world, ourselves, and the environment. And hopefully, we can come together and transform all of humanity. and it's starting here in the United States of America
Yeah.
because because of who we are, and it's our responsibility, our God-given responsibility, which we have been neglecting.
Yeah, I think people are so drawn to focus on negative things instead of the positive. Um, I think I think we need to start rewarding the positive things. Like you said, your next computer will be a Dell. Maybe give more attention to celebrities who are out there trying to make a difference and just encouraging more of that behavior.
Yeah, and take away our support from people who don't,
Mhm.
and so they understand we're not gonna. I don't look up to you because you have a 3 4 million dollar watch. You know,
Right.
I'll love you if you take some of that money and you pay off, this old lady's house that's been working
Yeah.
for the last 70 years, and she's having to, refinance her house. I don't know how many times so her kids could go to college, or, and they're still struggling.
Yeah.
Pay off their house, you know, get the kid, there's a student that goes to school with my son to university. Yeah, it takes him 2.5 hours to get to school because he can't afford a
Oh.
car. And the
Oh,
kid's a
wow.
genius. The kid is a mathematical genius,
Mhm.
and it's 2 hours on the way over and 2.5 hours and 2.5 hours on the way back.
Yeah.
Look at your society and look what some of the things that people need.
Mhm.
This kid should not be having to take the bus to go to school,
Yeah.
not with the talent that he has, and the dedication. So
Yeah.
we got to look deeper into our society and understand there's a lot of people that could use your help,
Yeah.
and that will win you our respect and our admiration and the love that we have to offer as a society.
Yeah.
And things will change.
Yeah. That makes sense if I mean, yeah, just be nicer to one another, kinda work as a group and
Let me tell
why.
you, going good, and I like sports, and
Yeah.
and every time I go, I watch a game or whatever, I see this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
No, the God doesn't want you to, cross yourself and thank God. He wants you to help his people,
You're yeah.
because he loves us, and all he wants is for us to love each other. So
Yeah.
don't be showing me that you believe in God. Show me, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the difference.
Why do you think Americans are so afraid of change?
Well, because we have the most to lose,
Yeah.
and there is no guarantee in change.
Yeah.
So there's a risk always, and we might lose some of our comforts, some of our
Mhm.
power, and but that is the risk that we got to take. And there's always a risk of more chaos, more
Yeah.
confusion, more division, more violence. So, but that's why I said we need to have faith
Yeah.
that we can achieve, a better society, and more prosperous,
Mhm.
and more generous, and and a stronger, spiritual community. Uh, excuse me. And I
You're
think we
fine.
lost it along the way. It's just, it didn't just happen suddenly. I
Right.
think it all started during pretty much the Industrial Revolution, where we were achieving all these physical wonders, you
Mhm.
know, the automobiles and cars, and how we were reshaping our cities and everything else. I mean, it was a time of tremendous growth.
Yeah.
And we started just believing that, to trust in ourselves only, and that we could accomplish anything that we wanted. And what has been left behind is the trash that we have left behind, environmentally and spiritually, from that
Yeah.
industrial revolution. And and we lost our spiritual. understanding because we saw that miracles were happening, and we thought that we could just depend on ourselves all the time. But we need to have that spiritual connection, so we do the right things and um, achieve the proper goals without destroying one of the most mysterious reasons that we are alive.
Mhm.
And it's a real wonder. Life itself is you start thinking about it, you say, well, oh, it's just it's it's hard to understand, you
Yeah.
know, that you are here on this earth, and it's not just a coincidence. And
Yeah.
once you start in that road, in that psychological road of the wonder of life and your
Mhm.
existence, and you find out that there's more out there than just this physical world.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think the divine plan is? Or what is the divine plan?
Well, um, for America, or like it's intertwined, like with America
Yeah.
and I think humanity.
Okay.
And I think God wants what we want. He wants a humanity that is prosperous, that is
Mhm.
healthy. He wants a clean environment that we can, that we protect and defend. And he wants people to get along
Yeah.
the way we're supposed to. So the plan is to bring that about through the United States of America, so that we can bring prosperity around the world to a lot of nations that are unfortunate. And we have done so to a certain
Mhm.
extent. If you look back and you look at Japan, for example, we helped rebuild Japan, and we helped
Yeah.
them, so much to the point that in the 90s, Japan became a major superpower economically, rivaling the United States back in that time.
Mhm.
Then you look at India, and we did the same thing. India was very poor, and we helped them with the manufacturing and everything else. And look how much they have grown.
Yeah.
And then you look at China, back in the China was like China is amazing the way how fast they've been able to go through their industrial revolution and become such a powerful nation
Right.
and in such a short time. But a lot of that has to do with us, the way that we've helped them. So it's a system. Capitalism
Mhm.
is a system that we can use to bring prosperity to other nations in the world that are suffering and they're having a hard time. And
Yeah.
some places in Africa, Latin America, where you can bring these to a certain extent some manufacturing that would help those countries grow and develop.
Mhm.
So what happens is when you have a country that has opportunities, that's safe, that people can not have to worry about so much crime, and
Yeah.
they have opportunities in their own country, they're not going to be migrating anywhere else because most people that migrate here are coming because they lack opportunity in their own country, or they're being persecuted, or they don't feel safe in their own country, so
Mhm.
they look for greener pastures,
Yeah.
and that's here. But if they can have that in their own country, and the best example you're going to find in modern day society right now is El Salvador. People are not migrating to the United States from El Salvador.
Right.
Actually, I saw a talk with Bukele, and he said people are moving back and bringing
Yeah.
some of their wealth back to their country because they have their family there. They love their environment, the people. So if we could spread prosperity around the world,
Mhm.
uh, we can create the world that we've always wanted, which is a world without borders. And some people have even talked about it, like Elon Musk. Well, we shouldn't have borders. When you look at
Yeah.
the Earth from outer space, there's no borders. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's a vision for the future that we can follow. But you got to bring that prosperity around. And the United States is one of the main countries that should do that. Uh, China is
Yeah.
planning to do it. China is planning to do that through they're building the Silk Road, and that's the philosophy or the vision that they have, which is to bring prosperity to Africa and to the Middle East and places that have not been able to develop.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people don't trust China for good reasons,
Yeah.
but they'd rather do business with us, you know. But
Yeah.
they're trying, and we are overlooking that aspect or that power that we have.
Yeah.
And that's with the prosperity to bring up prosperity around the world, and it'll create a wonderful future.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to tell you about my sponsors real quick.
Sometimes I get on a roll cleaning or gardening, and I need a boost but don't have time for a meal. Big Fork Brand's pork jerky is the perfect choice to keep my momentum, offering high protein snacks for on the go energy boosts. Not only do they offer pork jerky, but they also make pork sticks, bacon sausage, bacon hot dogs, and burger and hot dog sauces. Products come in a variety of delicious flavors, including Thai green curry and maple and brown sugar for the meat options, and gangster and Chicago fire for the sauces. I personally think the original flavor of the pork jerky hits just right after tackling a big chore. It's a little salty and very flavorful. My discount code gives you 20% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit bigforkbrands.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Are you looking for a gift for a music lover, or maybe some apparel to show off your quirky side? Old Glory has you covered. With over 300,000 officially licensed items covering music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture, you're guaranteed to find the perfect item. They even have seasonal gear. My husband enjoys the Beatles and Led Zeppelin apparel, and I love the Billy Idol apparel. I even found items for my fellow plant enthusiasts. This family-owned superstore is known for their quality and customer service, offers free standard shipping on all orders, and orders are shipped the same day you purchase. My discount code gives you 15% off your entire order, and it's currently the best deal available. Just visit oldglory.com and enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Looking for a game-changing way to improve your health? Zevo Life is the world's most nutrient-dense whole plant, packed with over 50% plant protein, essential amino acids, fiber, and antioxidants. Harnessing the best nature has to offer, Zevo Life nourishes your body while driving your performance, vitality, and overall well-being. Each serving is a concentrated source of clean, well-balanced nutrition designed to support modern lifestyles, and just 1 teaspoon a day supports your gut, boosts energy, and promotes healthier skin and hair. It's no wonder that it's receiving rave 5-star reviews. Step into a healthier future with a 30% discount and a 30-day risk-free guarantee by visiting zivo.life and using my promo code. To support my show and to receive 30% off your entire order, enter in my promo code JADE, that's JADE, at checkout. Do you think that with what we're doing with Venezuela, do you think we're headed in a good direction with Venezuela? I know it's kind of early to determine. But...
Well, to tell you the truth, within in my book, I wrote a book. It's called The Modern Citizen,
uh
and in there, even before any of this happened, I talk about that and
Okay.
how this is all a negotiation. This freedom of Venezuela was all a negotiation between the United States, Russia, and Ukraine.
Hmm.
So the way you have to negotiate certain things, like Russia, if Russia is allowed to take part of Ukraine, and that means he wins. That means
Yeah.
he what he did was he had got accomplished. So he didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
And he committed many, many crimes, crimes against humanity that should be
Yeah.
punished in one form or another.
Right.
And one of the ways that he loses something is if he loses certain allies. So Venezuela, Cuba, you know,
Yeah.
and I think the way the whole negotiation went is that you put pressure on both sides. You put pressure on Zelensky and you tell him, listen, if you don't give Putin part of your country, we're going to withdraw our support,
Uh-huh.
which is exactly what we did or are doing.
Yeah.
So you put pressure on Zelensky because if we don't help him, he's going to lose the entire country.
Yeah.
So, and then you put pressure on Putin and you say, well, if you don't give us Venezuela or Cuba, we're going to give Ukraine 10 times more weapons
Mhm.
than we are sending them now. So you're going to be fighting that war for the next 50 years. So you put
Yeah.
pressures on both sides, and I think they came to an agreement where
Yeah.
that we were able to go ahead and enter Venezuela without any, you haven't heard anything pretty much from Putin about it.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they pulled all his people out, from Iran and Russia. They pulled them out
Yeah.
before anything happened. So this
Yeah.
was part of the negotiation, and I think it's good because you're freeing a country
Mhm.
from the oppression the last 27 years. And hopefully, the Venezuelan people are going to learn from this.
Yeah.
And what is the lesson? What is the spiritual lesson from what happened to them? Which they suffered 27 years for. And the lesson is you got to help your people.
Mhm.
You got to help the less fortunate because they were the ones that got you out of power.
Yeah.
And I have friends that are Venezuelans that they had TV stations and they had many, many, I mean, the multimillionaires. They lost everything.
Yeah.
So when you go back and
Yes.
you start making all that money again, think about your country, think about your people, spread them wealth so they're happy. And this doesn't happen again, you
Mhm.
know. And that's how communism spreads is because the people are dissatisfied
Yeah.
with and not just the government, but with the organizations, the corporations too. And they just bring in people that offer them, you know, more,
Mhm.
and they just when they get into power, they just take it all for themselves,
Yeah.
which is ironic.
Yeah.
But you see it all over, in Nicaragua, and Venezuela, in Cuba. It's the same. It's always the same, and we haven't learned from it
Right. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing. Venezuela, they're going to have a wonderful future, and I think probably Cuba's next. I don't think Putin
Yeah.
wanted to negotiate Cuba because it's so strategic uh,
Okay.
island, but
Yeah.
I think we'll finally take over Cuba, and it's a wonderful place.
Is it?
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not from there, but um, they have beaches and mountains and
Yeah.
beautiful forests and a lot of gold and minerals, and it's just wonderful people.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a great place to develop and to have it flourish once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so
Definitely.
close to the United States. You take a little boat ride over there from Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be nice to see these places become nicer, more prosperous places to be. And
yeah, and I think the world is shifting a little bit. I think there's a like a little redistribution of land that's going on.
Mhm.
Especially with Trump because
Yeah.
he was into real estate his whole life, so he wants more real estate. That's
Yeah.
what he wants. He wants Greenland, and he
Yeah.
wants Canada, and he wants half the world.
Yeah.
So it's we'll see what happens. I see
Yeah.
this happening, but when you have a country that's in pain and suffering, I think you need to do something. And Haiti is
Mhm.
another place that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And Haiti is, they don't have much there. There's no infrastructure or anything. I mean, you can
Mhm.
just go in there and take it over, pretty much, and
Yeah.
reforest the place because there's no forest in Haiti. Everything's gone pretty much.
Hmm.
But what they do have is very hardworking people, very
Yeah.
hardworking people. I mean, especially in construction. Uh, the islands divided,
Mhm.
Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And if you ever go to the Dominican Republic, everything was built by Haitians. All the
Okay.
buildings, all the roads, everything, everything.
Yeah.
These people work so hard; it's unimaginable. I can't even imagine. And you can use manufacturing. You can bring capitalism to these places, and have them. What can I tell you? Produce simple things, plates and plastic cups and
Yeah.
utensils and little things like that, which will bring prosperity to the nation.
Yeah.
I think we should
Yeah.
keep some of the manufacturing here. You can't have another country make bombs for us or
Yeah.
planes or automobiles. We can't be dependent because that's a threat to our national security. So you
Right.
do need some of the major manufacturing things to stay here. The
Yeah.
little things you can use other countries and help them develop, um, and then they'll become our allies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the way I envision the world and in America. And
Mhm.
one of the things that we don't need anymore as a race is a superpower.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think God wants a superpower anymore, and we need
Yeah.
to share the power through all the united countries, free
Mhm.
nations in the world, where you can't go over the head of your friends and do whatever you want. I think that's wrong. I think
Yeah.
we created the United Nations because we wanted peace on earth, pretty
Yeah.
much. And it's our desire of that peace on earth is in direct uh, contrast to how much we support the decisions of other nations through
Yeah.
the United Nations. I think the United Nations should be restructured in a certain ways because
Mhm.
the way it is, it's not working properly. But
Right.
but our direct want for peace and harmony in the world is in relation to that institutions that we created, you know,
Yeah.
for that, and we got to respect it. So the United States is so powerful that it just does whatever it wants around the world, and I don't think that's right. I think it should be a coalition of
Yeah.
world powers to decide, what should and should not be done, unless there's a threat, direct threat upon the United States or any other country. Everybody has a right to defend themselves.
Mhm.
But I think our desire for that peace is important that we look at the United Nations again and restructure it in such a
Yeah.
way that you know. What I was thinking the other day was like the way it's here in the States, like a electoral college type of thing,
Mhm.
where everybody has their say, but certain states have more power than
Yeah.
others because you cannot have if there's as it is, the United Nations is just one vote per country. So if
Right.
there's a tie and Nigeria or Somalia is the last vote, they can decide what happens in the world. And you can't have
Yeah.
that because there's a lot of interest in other large, very large countries like in Europe and the United States. that are gonna be hurt from a decision that Somalia makes or Nigeria.
Yeah.
So it needs to be restructured,
Yeah.
and and it's a way for humanity to unite and to come together and
Mhm.
work as a species together rather than having one superpower impose themselves upon others. It's never worked. It's
Yeah.
never. If you look at history, it's never worked. Not with the
Yeah.
Romans, not with the French, the Spaniards, the Portuguese, the Chinese, the Mongols, the Arabs. Everybody's had their chance to rule the world.
Mhm.
Everybody, and they all have failed. So
Yeah.
let's you know analyze the history and see where a change in perspective is necessary.
Yeah.
And once we do that, I think we'll the future of humanity is so beautiful and bright, and but we need to get through this first
Mhm.
and unite as a species and understand that the challenges that we're going to face in the future, not here on Earth, but out there, because we're
Yeah.
just being born. We're still fetuses. We're in the womb of nature.
Right.
We're sticking out our head and looking around to see what's out there.
Yeah.
But the real future comes when we start colonizing other planets
Yeah.
and colonizing the universe, because we are, our species is it's a conquering species.
Mhm.
We're explorers by
Yeah.
nature, and we want to conquer. And instead of conquering the earth, which we have done already, we've conquered the earth,
Mhm.
we've conquered each other, other countries.
Yeah.
But what God wants us to do is to conquer ourselves. So we understand ourselves in such a deep level that we see how our actions affect our environment and other people.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
with that consciousness, we can evolve one step further. And I think that's what's happening in a lot of places in America. I see a lot of people being more self-conscious and more aware of what's going on and realizing that things are not working properly.
Yeah.
And we need to make a change, but a lot of people don't know, what those changes are supposed to be. Uh, how do
Yeah.
we how do we deal with the drug problem in
Yeah.
America? And you look at drug issues, and we've been fighting the drug problem for 50, 60 years. And
Right.
we declare a war against drugs.
Yeah.
And 60-year war, and we're still losing. We got
Yeah.
to try something else.
Yeah.
So, you either put all your effort into eliminating the drugs completely, which I don't think it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
or you can do what Portugal did, which they decriminalized drugs,
Uh-huh.
and they put in the programs to help the people that are drug addicts,
Yeah.
and they put a place where they can uh, not only distribute but administer the drugs. And the changes that they saw were astonishing. Like their death rate from overdose went down 85%.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah.
and their drug use went down by 75%,
Jeez.
because of all the counseling, and the police will take the people in and take them to a place,
Mhm.
where they can get the counseling they need. And most drug users want to rehabilitate. They might not have all the means necessary to get it done. But if
Yeah.
you take these people to a clinic and you help them with drugs that will, help them with the withdrawal syndrome symptoms and
Yeah.
everything else, I think we'll see the results.
Yeah.
And you got, I mean, I've looked at this in every single way. My kids think I'm crazy. Say, you're crazy. You can legalize drugs and this and that. I said, listen, there's no. What are you gonna do? People that want to do drugs, they're gonna do it no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even thought about like, okay, you go a little deeper and you say, well, drug dealers, uh, cartels, the
Mhm.
producers of the drug, there's a big problem because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they are killing people left and right
Mhm.
in Mexico and in other countries.
Yeah.
Well, what if they don't have much of a business anymore because
Yeah.
we either fight a war against drug or we rehabilitate the whole society and they don't have anything else to do. I mean,
Yeah.
what are they going to do? They're going to find something else to do,
Mhm.
something else bad, you know.
Yeah.
And I even thought about why don't we legalize the actual production of the drugs?
Mhm.
Like a cartel, would legally import cocaine to the United States. And then legalizing that business means they don't have to be killing each other over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can put taxes on it. And
Yeah.
you can um, do quality control so they don't put fentanyl in a lot of the drugs. And you
Right.
have some of the pharmaceutical companies produce the drugs as opposed to these drug dealers, like medical grade drugs like
Yeah.
fentanyl and heroin,
Yeah.
that would be instead of produced in a farm somewhere, be medically, done,
Mhm.
and you have less chance of the overdose.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, it's just ideas that to look at a problem from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see a lot of benefits from decriminalizing it. And you don't have to do it like nationwide. You can try
Yeah.
one of the worst drug-ridden cities in the United States and try it and see what happens.
Right.
And I think we'll be astonished at the results.
Yeah.
So new approaches, new things that we need to
Yeah.
check because the old system is not working.
Right. Right. Thinking outside the box a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I see that you have a copy of your book behind you.
yeah. So here's
So
a book.
yeah.
It's called The Modern Citizen,
Okay.
and it's the spiritual evolution of humanity
Mhm.
and how to create a better world.
Yeah.
So it talks about what we've been talking about, but some of the spiritual messages that
Uh-huh.
have been delivered to humanity and how to interpret them correctly. Uh, it includes, World War II, where one of the most terrifying demons the world has ever seen was
Yeah.
released from his dungeon upon the face of the earth so that we can
Yeah.
understand what we can do when we unify as a race. We can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
9/11 is a message that we have not answered yet. It means 9/11, the number 11. You use numerology to
Mhm.
to to understand it, and it means a new beginning, transformation. Um,
Yeah.
then you have going to the moon, where we got a chance to actually see the Earth for what it is and
Yeah.
transcend the center of our existence. And it's a good tool to understand our place on this planet, and how beautiful, this is. I mean, one of the main reasons for living is enjoying nature.
Mhm.
And we haven't gotten into that of environmental issues yet, but it's a lot of things we need to do there as well.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
including burning gasoline, fossil fuels. And that we need to, like environmental issues have taken like a back seat on the world stage with everything that's going on. But
Yeah.
it's one of the most important ones that we need to resolve. And basically, the idea is let the earth heal itself. Don't
Mhm.
keep poking the wound and allow it to heal because the earth has a consciousness and it knows what to do if we allow it to.
Yeah.
So it'll take the carbon from the atmosphere and put it in the ground by itself. We don't have to do anything,
Right.
but we got to
Right.
allow it to do that. And if you stop overfishing. If you stop fishing, commercial fishing completely for a couple of years, we'll be surprised at how many fish the population will
Yeah.
explode.
Yeah.
And we need to manage that a little better. I think, I live in Florida, and we manage our marine life fairly well,
Yeah.
but it could be even better. Um, and then, other things like I do speak about my interpretation of the Bible. Uh, yeah, just, what is life and death, some
Yeah.
shadow work and personal work, like understanding yourself and your shadow and life experiences, how to translate them spiritually.
Yeah.
Because if you have something that happens to you and it's just out of coincidence, you let it pass you by and you don't really understand much about it. But
Mhm.
if you look at certain instances, on a spiritual level, you confirm to
Yeah.
yourself there's a mystery at work and that you're being helped. To give you an example, which I put in the book, very simple. Looking for a parking space. I was looking for a parking space. My family and I were going on vacation. We're
Uh-huh.
at the airport, driving around for half an hour.
Ugh.
I was going to miss the flight.
Yeah.
And all I said was, God, help me find a parking space.
Yeah.
And the minute I said that, the best parking space in the whole parking lot,
Opened up.
a guy comes out of the elevator, gives me right next to the elevator in front of my gate. Little
Huh.
things, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a huge thing that happens to you. So, how to interpret those things and how to see how they affect your life and give you assurance that you're in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, anyways, I can talk all night, but so,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I know you gotta get going to
y-
your next
yeah,
appointment, so
that energy source that has been flowing through me lately. I never get tired.
yeah.
I can talk all night, and
Yeah.
I love to talk about these things because they have given me like purpose in life, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things I talk about where you can how to transform your own life so
Yeah.
that you feel like you have a reason for living. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And you gotta use that energy while you have it. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm pushing 60, and I feel more energetic than ever.
That's awesome.
Because how can I say,
Yeah.
I didn't think humanity had a chance. I put that on the back burner. I said, there's no way we're gonna reform ourselves and do anything properly anymore. I was
Yeah.
very pessimistic about humanity. And if you look at some of the churches, they'll tell you, God is going to burn humanity and this and that. And
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
really what we got to understand is that really doesn't matter what happens as long as we do our part
Yeah.
and helping. Because I cannot just sit back and stand back and watch everything that goes on without doing anything, especially since, God has awakened me.
Yeah.
And if I don't do anything about it, it's like I'm committing the greatest sin that you could ever commit, which
Yeah.
is not believing in yourself and in God. And that is the only unforgivable sin in the Bible.
Uh,
that's and that's one of the things that got me going because I said I don't want to die like that.
yeah.
I got to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and here I am. Well,
I think one of the things is learning that nothing is predictable too, but, like, if you keep trying.
life is
Y
unpredictable, and
Yeah.
that's part of the beauty of it. And I've always tried to live my life by that law,
Yeah.
which I don't expect anything. I don't hope for anything. And when
Yeah.
things happen that go my way, oh, it's so beautiful. It's such a refreshing feeling,
Yeah.
that it makes life worth living. Because if you plan your whole life ahead of you and you achieve your goals, it's great. But
Mhm.
when they just come to you and without effort, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show. It was a very positive episode.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.